how do we become more like Jesus? In our last video, we talked about what a disciple is. It's somebody who's becoming like their master. It's not just transferring knowledge, but it's actually transferring an entire way of life from master to disciple, from teacher to student. And so for those of us who are Christians, who are disciples of Jesus, that means that we should be becoming like Jesus, not just learning about him, but looking more and more like him. But that leaves us with the question, how do we do that? There's a quote by Dr. Wayne Detzler. He says this about discipleship, that the emphasis on discipleship in the Greek is not formal school learning, but rather fellowship with a teacher. So when we think about discipleship and what it means to be a disciple, we can often look to what we do, to our activity, whether that is Bible study or quiet time or showing up to a church gathering on Sunday mornings or showing up to a community group gathering midweek, or maybe it's giving or a number of other activities. If you have been around the village for a while, you've heard us talk about learning from Jesus, following Jesus, and leading other people to Jesus as things that we do as disciples, and all of that is true. But if we're not careful, we could fall into the same trap as the Pharisees and seek to find life in the pages of the scriptures, but totally miss Jesus. You see, the point of us being able to pray and to open up our Bibles and read the scriptures and study the word, for us to gather together in community as the church united by the Spirit, that the beauty of all those things isn't just those things. It's that we actually get to meet and fellowship with Jesus through those things. And so that's what we miss when we make discipleship all about the means and not about the master. And so that's what I want to leave you guys with today is, what does your discipleship look like? What are the things that you do? What's your activity? Are you doing anything to actually grow in your knowledge and in the way of life following after Jesus? Are you doing anything? And if you are doing something, in those things, are you actually meeting Jesus and seeing him and getting him out of those things? Or are you just kind of ending at whatever it is? You're just checking it off the box. You're not coming to commune with him. You're not coming to meet him or to grow your relationship with him, but you're literally just learning about him like he's somebody on Wikipedia that you just looked up, or like he's a math formula or equation to try to know and understand. This is why it's so impactful, this whole concept, when Jesus in John 15 says that, I don't call you servants anymore, I call you friends, because I'm revealing to you what the Father has revealed to me. He genuinely wants to shift our relationship away from being servants and into this friendship, this fellowship with him. And he is our King, right? He is the creator of the universe, and there is nothing that exists today that wasn't created through him. There's nothing that is being held together today that isn't being sustained by his power, and yet he desires to call us friend. And there's some Christian jargon and songs and all kinds of stuff that maybe cheapen that understanding in some way, but that is a huge, powerful thing, that the God of the universe would want to have fellowship with us, that he took on flesh and came and lived among us and dwelt as us so that he could fellowship with us. He went to the cross so that we could interact with him in a way that is free of guilt and shame, and he rose from the dead and gave us the Spirit so that we could have his righteousness and be able to conquer sin and death. And so, that's just a powerful idea, that God actually wants to have fellowship with us through Jesus, and it's in spending time with him, not just in pages about him, books about him, not just checking off lists and showing up to gatherings that are about him, but it's him. He is the one who will change us and help us become like him. And so the point of discipleship, it's not the means, it's the master. It's about not formal learning, but it's about fellowship with Jesus.